Welcome to the Soul Star Podcast with your spiritual besties, Alli and Mandy. We're here to make your spiritual journey fun, relatable, and inspiring. So let's raise your vibe and ignite your soul together.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Soul Star Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us for another week. We have not been around for a little while. And so first of all, sorry about that. I feel like we sort of just ghosted everybody because we've been so consistent with recording every week and posting every week. Like I would say 97% of the time for the past, 4 years?
5 years? 4 years? 4 years.
5 seasons. This is our 5th season.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
That's a commitment and it's great. And it's been lots of fun.
Yeah, it has been lots of fun. And then we just all of a sudden we're like, poof, gone. Just like in a dating app. We ghosted you.
No closure for you at all.
No closure for you. Was it me? Was it you? We don't know. You're never going to know.
No, but you will, because that's why we're here.
Yeah. We're responsible. We break up in person. And now I can hear people saying, what do you mean break up in person? Yeah. Dung dung.
Well, so we're recording our final episode today.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that. That's so mean.
Sorry, Allison, I'm done.
Breaking up with you. I know. This is oof. Yeah, it was
sad.
It is sad because it's been so much fun.
Yeah.
And the people we've met on this journey from this podcast that we were excited when 21 people listened
right?
to the first episode. We were like, who are these people?
We thought it would be like something that went into the void and nobody ever heard.
Yeah. And
lots of people heard.
I know. And that was just so exciting for us.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah. But we were, it has been 4 years and 5 seasons. How does that work? No, it's been 5 years. Let's just say 5 years.
We're 2026 now. Yeah.
Yeah. So 5 years and 5 seasons and consistent recording. At the very beginning, we were very excited to share our new awareness, our new perspectives, and very excited to let everybody know that once you start to understand energy and spirit and the universe, it's very transformational. And so because we experienced such a deep transformation, we were so excited to share that with others. But we also wanted to be very transparent because it shouldn't be gatekept, the information, this information, because it is so transformational. But Alli and I have been reflecting on, where we're at with the podcast and if we wanted to move forward and how that looked. And we both felt very strongly the purpose with the podcast had served its purpose, its original purpose. And so we felt like we need to close this loop and just, create some closure and this final chapter so that both of us can move into new things. We talk about beginnings and endings, and this is the cycle of life. And, we have to respect and honor our endings in order to be able to step into new beginnings. And so that's kind of where we're at. We had a good long conversation about it, and we both felt into it because, in our heads, we're like, no way, I love the podcast, which we do. But then when we felt into it, we're like, yeah, no, it's it has served its purpose. So we are respecting the energy of the podcast by allowing it to be over. It's like that. It's like that series, that TV series that you love. And it's where it's oh, we could keep going, but it's going to start to lose its pizzazz, or when people talk about movies, when they do level number 2 or movie number 2, and they're okay, well now it's getting where it's just not as good anymore. And so it's those things, good things need to come to an end sometimes to stay good instead of watering it out. So it's our death and rebirth. Yeah.
moment.
And I was reflecting on it the other day, and I feel like this is a body of work that both of us have created, and I'll always be very proud of this part of my life, or this part of our life, where we got to work together and collaborate and create and have like such fun, amazing, deep conversations. Like sometimes they were serious conversations, sometimes they were fun conversations, sometimes a mixture of both. And I feel like we did a great job bringing light to the shadow. But also like, I don't know, like I feel also like you can watch our transformation through the last 5 years too, just through the content that we were creating, because obviously we're pulling from where we're at in our own lives.
Absolutely. I'm like, so much so, we were just talking about listening to the very first episode, and we're both too scared to listen to the very first episode because I was like so awkward. Like I was so awkward. My bank voice came on. Like it was kind of like, oh my God, you press record, and it's like I would freeze, kind of like, thank God we didn't have video then. Jeez.
Well, yeah.
I'd be like a deer in headlights. Jeez.
I don't think we would have been able to get past we wouldn't have been able to do it if we were on a video. But I think we were very scripted in the beginning too. Like we had very like specific notes on what we wanted to talk about.
Because of me.
Yeah, and Allison, she needed to basically read a script on what she was going to say, just because you were so nervous.
Yeah, because it's like I was in that stage. I was all about kind of like, I don't want to look like a fool. I don't want to do it wrong. I don't trust myself. Like I was definitely in that phase at the beginning of this journey that I just didn't trust myself. And so that's where you can see this like transformation, because now I fucking trust myself.
And you're doing it, and you're moving forward. You're doing like, because I've released Soul Star, like the business, and you've taken what we created and have rebranded to make it your own. It's beautiful. And I'm still over here confused as to what my next step is.
And that's okay, right? Like that's the thing. We don't have to know all the answers. We just have to trust what is the next step in front of us. And all you know is the next step. You're not sure what that is, but it was to put that to rest. And the same for this. And I am going to cough. So I'm going to put myself on mute, and I'm handing it over to you.
We're just going to watch you cough on camera. Oh. Come back.
Okay, I'm back. I didn't want to pull like another mouse situation.
Oh yeah, that was one of my favorite episodes, I'd say, when because we used to so anybody that hasn't like listened to the previous, like hasn't gone through all 170 something episodes, right? We used to record in my crawl space because the acoustics were amazing down there, and we were recording like literally on Allison's iPhone and on an app.
And we couldn't figure out. Oh my God. We had like bought the microphones. We had downloaded some like technical silly thing, and we could not for the life of us figure it out. How to set up both mics and be in the same room, like all this damn stuff. We still don't know how. That's why we are in our own spaces now.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like so bad.
Oh no, I know, but I don't know. It was just how we did it. But I also think that we could have figured it out because both of us are very smart. But we are parent, like moms. We have partners. We have full-time jobs in corporate. We just don't have the time to put it all together. Like it just wasn't. We just couldn't do it. And this worked. This worked really well. And my crawl space
amazing.
It was fun and it was funny. But
it was fun. Like we started off with having like, some old chairs down there and heated blankets. Thank goodness we live in a climate that doesn't get too cold, but it certainly did get chilly if, the winter months where it just was a little chillier down there in the crawl space. But we would have our heated blankets, and it would just be like this fun little thing. And then we even tried to make it a little bit fancier because we were like, ooh, let's buy some pretty chairs to put down there and a backdrop, and let's do a camera. And that didn't work.
Well, no, because we were like, we could create a podcast studio space down here,
Mhm.
which we really could have, but we just didn't have that. We didn't want to invest into like, it was going to cost money. So we did
tried
it.
the cameras. We
We
did
did
all
it
of
Timo
that.
style. Like it was
weird.
like a Timo style studio. And it was just not our vibe. So we
tried. Oh my God. But then like, yeah, we had this one episode where my back was to the far wall and we're talking and all of a sudden, Mandy, you're like, and you had this freak out. And of course, like my reaction is like, I have no idea why she's freaking out, but so I'm just going to freak out. And I screamed. And it was a little mouse that was like going behind, but we decided to keep the episode.
we didn't know.
No, because we didn't know how to
edit.
No, and it was like, damn it, we don't want to have to start all over again. And so we kind of gave that like pre-warning, like, hey, if you're driving or whatever, like you're gonna have a jump scare at some point.
It was so funny. But that mouse, we in the crawl space there. Nick and I would have almost annually some sort of issue with mice down there. It doesn't happen anymore because we figured out where they're coming in. But there was that one mouse that kept coming down there, and every time we podcast, it would come and show its face. So and it's actually okay because at first I was scared of the mouse, like this little itty bitty cute little mouse. I was so scared of. But after a few episodes, it was like our friend.
Yeah, we're like, oh, hey, Winnie, it's so cute. Except I didn't like my feet on the ground. I would get creeped out and then have to like put my feet up. There was a while there that I would not have my feet touching the ground. No. I'm like, I just didn't want any creepy crawlies happening.
Yeah.
Before we kind of continue reminiscing, I do want to mention, I guess, like this is coming to a close.
Yes.
This podcast is coming to a close. But I have decided to start my own.
Yes.
Like what?
I'm so excited for you.
I know. I'm like, you're just such a hype girl. I love it. It's so nice. It's like you just have like my back in all of that. So Mandy talked about how we'd had like, a nice long discussion and really kind of felt into it and for sure, like getting out of the head and kind of moving into the heart to be like, is this like, should we? And I definitely was more resistant to finish because I was just like, I love the podcast. Like I love podcasting. And then when I felt into it, I was like, oh, okay. I can feel that this particular podcast has come to an end. But, I'm like, I need to continue doing this. There's just something about it. So, Mandy and I were kind of like chatting because I was like, you know what? I've been getting this feeling and like this urge to just like take away all the walls, to have no boundaries into a topic. Yeah. Like obviously spirituality is ingrained into me through and through. So that will always have a silver lining throughout whatever I talk about. But I just didn't want to have to be stuck in a box to constantly have it just to be about that or somehow weave it into that. And, when we were talking, I just said, I'm like, like my Gemini brain, I'm just like, all of a sudden I'm like, what's this? And my curious brain is just like, I'm over here. Like, I like to talk about sex. I like to talk about spirituality. I love to talk about healing. I'd love to talk, like, there's so many things that will grab my conspiracy theories, aliens. Like, there's so many things that just grab my attention that I'm like, I don't want to be boxed in. I just want to talk. And I just want to experience. And then Mandy, with her brilliant mind, was like, what about calling it the Gemini brain? And I was like, and I instantly, when we talk about, got the goosies. Yeah. I'm like, and we talk about this where if it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. And I had instantly there was no hesitation. There was no like, yeah, okay. It was like, I love that. And this is I want to kind of show you how our ego can come into things, okay? Because this was a clear example how this kind of happened. so Mandy, had suggested that. I was like, oh my God, you're so right. I'm like, because my Gemini brain is constantly thinking, curious, wanting to know all of these things, right? And so I was like, that's perfect. And then when I like went away and I was all excited and I started thinking about it, well, then my like ego mind comes in, my analytical brain comes in, and I'm like, ooh, but what about this? Like, what if, is that just going to box me in that people are going to think it's only about Geminis and only Geminis should listen to this podcast? And I'm like, ooh, I don't want that. And so I started to kind of like move away from this visceral yes, because I got too technical in my head, which is also a very Gemini thing. Because I'm just in your head all the time. And so I started to move away from it. But there was something like I just could feel this energy pulling me back. And then I was just like, no, fuck it. It's not. It's just a name. It doesn't, define, but it resonates with me. So it just wanted to share like how we always kind of talk about your intuition versus, how do you believe it, or how do you know if it's the right thing? And it's like, it's there. Your body tells you, you have your visceral. It's when you overthink and start to do the what ifs or what about this, that then it's like, that's when you're moving away from your intuition. So
your new podcast is going to be called The Gemini Brain.
Yeah.
Announcing it here.
For you guys. Now, I know our audience loves you and me. So I am sorry that you're stuck with me. But I know I'll have Mandy on randomly, right?
Yeah.
Because this is just what we do. Yeah. And of course I'm going to have other guests and stuff, and just keeping it fluid.
It's going to be an amazing podcast. I'm very excited to listen to it because your brain works in a very interesting way to me. And you're right, like when it comes to like all of these different topics of conversation, but you also have this really beautiful way to like see the duality of both sides. Like you're Libra rising, but you also have a Gemini brain, right?
And it's like the twins, right? The twins, and the Libra is the balance. Yeah, so very well.
Yeah, so it's going to be a great podcast, and any topic that you talk about, I'm excited to listen to it, and I think you'll have lots of supporters from this audience, including myself.
Thank you. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk by myself. I could get on there and be like episode 1 on, on our podcast and be like,
well, it'll evolve just like all things do.
Yeah. Everybody come listen to the first episode and laugh.
When is the first episode going to launch? Do you know?
I don't know.
Soon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And
you know what? I don't even know, like, because we're recording this right now, but I'm like, my goal would be to have it released prior to this episode going out. Yeah. So definitely put it in your search, The Gemini Brain with Allison Wright, and see if it's there. And then you'll see if I like stuck to my...
You're going to, because I'm going to make you.
Yes.
And wait, are you planning to record weekly, bi-weekly, monthly? Do you have a plan of action there?
Oh God, that scares me. I don't know. I'm like I think I should do bi-weekly, just because it feels a little like daunting.
It's a lot. It's a lot. As we know, it's a lot, especially when you're busy. So bi-weekly and then Thursdays still, do you think? Yeah. These are things you haven't even thought about, are they?
No, these are things I haven't even thought about. I'm like, sure, just do it. I know. I'm like, yeah, maybe, baby. I'm like, baby. We'll see. You just Google it and see what day it shows up.
Or I was gonna say, or it could just be a surprise, like the Gemini brain works. It's like super random.
That's so funny. No, actually, I think I need to have a schedule because my Gemini brain would be like, what? And I'd be over somewhere else, right? I'm like, my Gemini ADHD brain. There would be nothing happening. That is how that works. And I've got kind of a lot kind of transpiring, right? Like I'm going to be teaching some intuitive courses in person. Yeah. I'm like, what? So locally, if you're local to us in Victoria, BC, I'm going to be teaching kind of like the fundamentals, the beginning stuff of energy and being an empath and, you know, how do you protect your energy and what the heck is going on, you know, when you start to kind of awaken and stuff. So I'm going to be teaching that live with Muse. It's a studio in Victoria that has like yoga, breath work, like just amazing stuff. Yeah. So
they're doing there.
Me too. Good. So, yeah, we'll put that in the show notes to check out their website. It's will be launching soon, I guess, and because it starts April 26th.
That's exciting.
I know, that'll be so fun because you know, both of us have only taught online and that's been amazing. And I'm going to continue to do that because what's been so amazing with this podcast is it's brought us outside of our community and far and wide outside our community. So, you know, we have listeners we know all over the world. But from that, we've had students in Australia, where else? There's another England? No, yeah, maybe
Australia. There was England, the UK.
Yep, the US, big time.
Lots of the US,
and then across Canada. So it's been like, what an amazing, like that's where I feel so lucky and grateful for our listeners is like having that opportunity to like not only have like people listening from across the world, but to actually then meet people and be part of their journey. And you know, we got to meet with them online every week, you know, and it was just like I freaking love that because you just get to understand other people's worlds and where they come from. And my curious Gemini brain it just gets really curious about those things. Sometimes I have to like rein it in because I just want to ask all the questions.
No, and I love that. And I've been very, I really love being a part of people's journeys and helping just shift, even if it's just a little bit, even just through this podcast, anything that you've like heard or something that might have shifted for you. Because listening to things like this is activating for a lot of people, whether you know it or not. Like we're in a lot of ways, we're doing activations just by sharing stories and experiences and explaining certain things. It can be very activating, and just being a part of that has been a gift. And I remember at the very beginning, I was so called to start this podcast, and I was so grateful when you're like, "I'll do it," because I don't know if I could have done it on my own. I wouldn't have been
so weird. This is where I've had a few moments where I feel like H, my guide, has kind of like taken over, or just like it wasn't me, didn't come from me, that's for sure. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, and then I'm like, who the fuck said that? That wasn't me. It was like, okay, it's like my intuition got so loud and it just happened, and then my ego was like, what did you just say? What did you just do? And I was like petrified because I was certainly big time in the closet, the spiritual closet, when you started talking about feeling this call to do a podcast. And like, I think I was just thinking about, or maybe I just started Instagram that I kept secret, right? No name. It was like, I just kind of like had, you know, some spiritual name on it, and I hid myself, right? But I wanted to like kind of dip my toe in, and then all of a sudden you were like saying this thing, and then I blurred out that I would do it, and I'm like, what the, like, way to step out of the spiritual closet, like.
I couldn't imagine like this. I don't know, like this just was meant to be. Like this podcast was just so perfect for like I don't know, it just wouldn't have been the same at all. Like it couldn't have been any better than it has been.
Yeah.
If you had done on your own, or if I had done on my own, like doing it together elevated it to make it better, in my opinion.
And we had so much fun.
Yeah.
Like we talked about that being like, we would just have so much fun recording and laughing. And, you know, I remember, you know, back in the day, you would listen to every episode afterwards. I never listened.
It would make me laugh again.
It would make me laugh. Like I like never listened. The only time I would listen was to find clips because I had to take care of that. And so definitely I would be like trying to find clips and then start laughing at some of the stuff like, what? I've gone back now to random episodes and I'm like, what? Like, do you remember? I remember us talking about yonis.
Yeah.
And the yoni steam. And I was like, what the hell is a yoni? And you're like a vajayjay. And I was like, what? And then we talked about, because I'd come across a reel about like going in and I thought it was hilarious, right? Like these people would go into this like yoni spa and everybody would be sitting on their own little like, you know, yoni stools. Yeah. And so this person had made a joke, like, you know, had walked in and was like, ooh, oh, it smells like tuna, you know, and I thought it was hilarious. And then apparently it was like this like sacred thing. And we were just like joking.
Which you didn't know at the time.
No, I had no idea that it was, oh God, we just had so much fun. Like
it was fun
with those things.
Yeah. I think for me moving forward, like I'm still unclear and I'm still sorting it out, but I feel really called to work with women in business and corporate. So I feel like
you felt that for a long time. Yeah,
I have for a long time, and it was hard. I couldn't figure. Well, we couldn't really figure out how to do that within Soulstar because we were very specific, obviously teaching people how to read energy and understand their clairs and stuff like that. So it didn't really fit into Soulstar. But I feel like if that's probably the route that I'm going to go and start working with women and just, you know, bringing clarity around their career path or their business and, you know, helping move through blocks and ways to move through those blocks and stuff like that. And a little bit has been coming in for me over the last couple of days, some downloads, which is like, I haven't received inspiration or creative ideas or downloads for a really long time. And it used to flow through me so easily. So it's been very frustrating that I feel like everything's been turned off on purpose, but things are starting to trickle in now a little bit. And I feel like I'm going to be working in that area with women. And I feel like corporate, because I spent so much time in the corporate world, and I feel like there's so many women within corporate who are stuck within this patriarch system that is starting to crumble. So the more women that feel empowered within themselves as a like in their divine feminine is going to help illuminate the I don't even know how to say it. Like it's just going to help illuminate the need for women to move more from their intuitive space. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what's going to create the change within the corporate world is if women were actually flowing with the energy that is natural to them and not fighting against it and conforming to the patriarch.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think over the, you know, the decades and the centuries that it's kind of been like women have had to fight and crawl their way to be taken seriously. And in doing that, we've had to step away from, you know, the divine feminine aspect and try to embody this more divine masculine aspect to be taken seriously in our careers. And I would say there's even still some, you know, industries that's still the case. But it's kind of like, it's taken us away from like our spark and our beauty of like how like divine feminine energy is a beautiful thing. It is not a negative. Powerful. It's so powerful. And the thing is, it's all about balance, right? So it's not saying like, oh, like screw the divine masculine. It's like, no, it's having a balance of both because they're both essential in it. But there seems to be like we've had to let go of that divine feminine just to be taken seriously or to grow in our career. I also think that through that's going to also have men more connect to their divine feminine,
Mhm.
so that it's a balance. It's not one or the other type of thing. It's never meant to be, right?
Yeah, no, it's not. And I think like a shift is happening in the consciousness right now where more and more women are like they are wanting to understand more like how do they create their world so that it works better for them. Like part of the reason why I experienced like burnout in 2017, 2018, 2019 was because I was living more in my masculine energy because I was conforming to the hustle culture, the corporate culture, all of that sort of stuff. But like, how can we shift that? The shift has to happen from within me first.
Yeah.
Like the corporate system isn't going to change unless I change first. And then the more women within the system that change, or the more men, the more people that shift within the system will create the change. It all happens with us first.
Yeah. We have to embody it. Just with anything, right? This great awakening of, shifting Earth's frequency and all. It's everybody individually has to embody it. It's not like it just needs to change. It's like as one light turns on, and then the next light turns on, and then the next light turns on. It eventually just kind of bleeds out to become the new normal, and that's kind of like what we're seeing, right?
So we'll see how that shifts for me. But yeah, women in like this system that just needs some support.
And then it will be like, okay, how are you and I like collaborating together to?
And that's it, right? We will collaborate. I know we will.
Absolutely, we will. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm like, I think people know this, but I want people to know, like, there was no falling out of Mandy and I. I think that, but I think that that's where, again, this is kind of like that societal or the,
like, what happened?
And especially females, right? Like, I think a lot of people kind of say, like, oh yeah, like, okay, that's not going to last, or, that there seems to be this like cattiness or stuff. And I think we even felt that many times where it would kind of like be people like waiting to see if we would just like clash and fall apart, just because that's kind of, been history of things. And we even talked about our own like sisterhood wounds and stuff like that. And so that's where I'm kind of like, I want to make sure people know 100% there has been zero, like, oh my God, that we're just, we're still good friends. I'm like, obviously you can see the way we interact. We support each other in everything. And I think why we've been able to do that, like, why we haven't moved into kind of that catty or like anything like that. It's because we are both so reflective of ourselves and our own energy, that's where, if we would trigger things in each other, it was like safe to do so with each other. It was safe to speak up. It was safe to walk through it together, because we knew that the other person was able to self-reflect. Both of us were able to hold our own and self-reflect and not have our ego get in the way. Or even if our ego got in the way for a little bit, we were able to take that away and be like, no, yeah, what's the mirror? Okay, yeah, I was doing this. And it, to me, has been the most fascinating and amazing friendship relationship that I've been able to experience, that it's shown me that I want all my relationships to be like this moving forward, whether that's, within the family, with friendship, with, a partner. It is so nice to be able to feel safe and know that you can, on both sides, be able to like call each other out on shit. And know that it's not going to dissolve the friendship, and it's actually that we're both able to just hold our own and be like, no, you're right. Thank you for that. I will do this differently or whatever.
Yeah, but also I think we also have this really beautiful way to see the higher perspective and to honor and respect each other's separate journeys, like journeys that are separate from our combined journey, right? So when I was ready to, step back, because that's what I was being called to do, You were able to respect my calling and the journey that I was on, even though it affected your journey. But you were still able to see it from that perspective and to respect that and to give me the space and to take the step back that I needed, that I was being called to do. And then it's been a slow progression of like dissolving Soul Star and the podcast and stuff like that, because again, it all comes back to respect and honor, not just for the energy of the business and the podcast, but for each other. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important to even say, like, it's not like it's without trials or without sadness or anything like that, like that. You and I definitely have had moments where we've upset each other. So I don't want people to be like, oh, well, good for you guys. That you're like, thank you for that, perception. I will take that and leave. No, there was definitely times that, we were snippy with each other, or, would say something and the other one was hurt or whatever. But it's so we definitely had those moments. But it was how you kind of take that away and then deal with it. So for sure, when you first kind of talked about going back to the mortgage specialist role, that rocked me. And I was upset or hurt or whatever it is. But this is the thing. You don't just stop there, right? You take a step back, and, and I remember I kind of like, I had a bit of a dark night of the soul after that. Because it wasn't just like what you had said, but it was also like, I was kind of like going to spirit, like, what the hell, like, what are you doing? Like, I felt like, cause I had taken a leap, the spirit always talks about like, just leap and we'll catch you. And you're like, yeah, right. And then you do it. And I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, I'll do it. And then I felt like, what the fuck? Like, the source of income that, like all of these things kind of started to then shake. That foundation started to shake and be taken away. And so even like in that moment, it was like this process had to happen. This process had to happen that then I was able to, all of a sudden, it's like, I went through that kind of like dark night of the soul to then come out and be like, Allison, you can do this. It was like, I needed this to happen for me to be able to trust that I could continue on. It didn't mean that, oh, well, if Mandy's not there, well, I can't do this and it's just got to stop. It's like, what? Yeah. Girl, step up. And I was just like, who the fuck do you think you are? Step up. Stop it. And like, you're in control of your life. But that was so beautiful. Like, what a gift that gave me, even though it was uncomfortable in the moment for both of us. Yeah. It was like such a beautiful gift. And so I think that's where talking about how this new way of having a relationship can really like benefit, it's, you're going to go through trials and tribulations.
They're still hard.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, you did.
Did I? Okay. Cool. Cool. I'm doing a lot better with my words in these last few seasons.
I know we don't have as many Allisonisms.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was so funny. I don't know how many times we would have that. Oh God. I
always wondered if people thought I was like super arrogant for calling you out on the words that you missed.
It was hilarious. And I'm like, I always just like laughed because I'd be like, oh my God. And I realized like how often in my life I just make up words.
You do.
Like, shit. I'm like, I wonder if people are like picking up on it. Like
even in your corporate world and you're
all the time. And I do, and I still do. And then, but then I just like, I kind of gaslight them because I act like it's that's what I meant to say. And it's a word. All right. And so then people are kind of questioning, is it a word or is it not a word? And it's so funny because my boyfriend, my partner,
what?
I
love how you said that. My boyfriend.
It just feels weird.
Yeah, I know.
It feels weird because I'm like, you do feel like a juvenile. Because I'm like, my boyfriend.
My partner makes it sound so like.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
There needs to be a in betweener.
The person that I'm boinking. No.
The one who satisfies my lust.
My lust. That person. He calls me out all the time. He'll be like, are you meaning this? Oh yeah, so you're not the only one. But he also calls me out on, because I will do sayings that are incorrect, I guess. Like, like no, and I will sing, because I just like randomly sing. And he'll be like, that's not the lyrics. And I'm like, Wikipedia over here. Like, what the hell? How do you know? How do you know?
Oh my God.
I know. I know. So you're not the only one. And now I realize I do it way more than because obviously if nobody was calling me out my whole fucking life, I had no idea that any of these things were wrong.
I know. So there's a word that Nick used to mispronounce all the time. And I swear it's because nobody told him he was saying it wrong, because it was so cute when he was little, and then he just kept saying it. No. So he used to say, instead of saying chimney, he would say chimley, like with an L. Chimley?
And he would say that as an adult?
Yeah, just like we're talking about the chimney. And I'm like, what is a chimney? And do you mean chimney? And so like I questioned him, and he's like, no, that's not how you say it. And I was like, look it up in the dictionary. Is there an L in chimney? And then he was like, oh, he's like, I've been saying that my whole life.
Oh my God.
So funny.
It's like, call people out on it. It's just like, somebody having, broccoli in their teeth, and you just allow them. I was humiliated yesterday because I had a client appointment, and me, I get really hot. And I just get hot. Like, back me, I think I just got the fan on right now, actually, because I just get hot. And it was like a really long meeting, and like whatever. I'm like, and then when he left, I went to the washroom, and I had a dark line of mascara on my upper eyelid.
He didn't say. What was he gonna say? He probably didn't even know what it was. Like,
oh, it's so embarrassing.
Like your mascara is running. He probably didn't even know the word mascara, or that's what it was.
And then I'm like off talking to other staff members, because I was kind of like, oh yeah, like I just had this meeting, and they're probably like, look at this. Like it wasn't a little. It just wasn't like a little dot. It was a bloody clear black line.
Oh no.
Oh, I felt so stupid.
Well, that's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing.
I would have been embarrassed too.
And then like somebody was like, oh, thank goodness you're wearing your glasses. And I was like, no, that's the thing. I had taken them off. If I was wearing my glasses.
That's why it was like sweaty on your eye, and that's why it ran, because your glasses were fogging them up.
But I didn't have my glasses on to like cover it.
Oh no.
I'd taken them off, and so I was so embarrassed. And I was like, so ladies, this is a reminder. Do your little swipe under your eyebrows every so often to make sure that your mascara hasn't transferred. It's my fault. I'm trying to get a cheaper mascara because I've been using Dior, and it never transfers, and I love it. But I do not want to spend $45 on a mascara. Like, it pisses me off. So I've been trying different mascaras. So now we know that one's out. Bye.
Which one is it? Share for the audience.
I forget. It's over there. It's like really close, but I don't want to get up and go get it. But I forget. So I will keep on testing.
Mm-hmm. And then on your Gemini brain episode, you can talk about.
Yeah. I'm like, we'll just do these tests because there has to be a cheaper option.
I'm sure I know there is. I use L'Oreal Voluminous. Just like,
I think that's what I'm using.
Drugstore kind. It doesn't.
That's what I'm trying to do. Is drugstore kind. Is it a pink bottle?
No.
God damn it. Is it a gray bottle?
Yeah.
With a gold cap?
Yes.
You see how I've been like getting every single one.
I feel like the pink one is CoverGirl.
Oh yes, it is. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use drugstore makeup. I've never been one to spend hundreds of dollars on makeup. No. I just can't justify it. We're lucky I wear makeup. people.
I know. That's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to move it away from that and
Yeah.
try to get the cheaper versions of things, but also keep the quality. And I've just come across Wet and Wild. You remember Wet and Wild?
Yes.
Yes. I didn't know they were still around, but Wet and Wild tinted moisturizer, because that's what I like to use is tinted moisturizer, but I'm very particular with it and very impressed.
Okay, I'll have to try that out.
Like $9. Get the fuck out.
I will try that out.
All right. Well, I hate goodbyes.
Yeah.
Because I'm just awkward as fuck with it. So take it away, Mandy.
Well, I know we want to say thank you from the depths of our hearts. Truthfully, we're very grateful for everybody that has been along this journey with us the whole time, or anybody that's just popped in the last little while, or even if you just found us, we're sorry to be leaving you so soon. But there's lots of episodes you can listen to. You can find Allison on The Luminant Soul, and she's on Instagram and her website, The Luminant Soul. I am not yet on anything, but if you want to try to find me, probably it'll be mandymorton.com somewhere, or Mandy Morton something on Instagram. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Instagram, so I don't know if I'm going to do social media. It might just be quiet behind the scenes, like email me. Email Allison for my contact information.
Yeah, reach out to me. I know. We'll find you.
I will help you if you need me. But I'm not easy to find right now.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's okay for now. But yes, thank you very much for being here. We love you all very much. And we're so grateful. We hope that you continue to follow Allison, and I will be around sometime somewhere. And yeah, I guess that's it. I can't even say see you next time.
No. We love you.
We do.
Okay.
Bye.